Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Welcome back to Work Guitars. It's Friday, it's Black Friday. And as you know, Black Friday is when everyone goes out and tries to kill each other at Walmart over the TVs. Gotta get that TV. I don't care if I have to trample your grandmother to get to it. Sad but true here in America. Well, what I think of when I think of Black Friday is the Steely Dan song. That's the first thing that pops in my head. When Black Friday comes, I'm going to dig myself a hole and I'm going to lay down in it until I satisfy my soul. That's Black Friday to me, man. Great guitar work in that song too, isn't it? All right. So, today, I have to share with you some very sad news. And I hate to do it, but it's just one of those things that happens, and I have to share it with you guys. I have a neck for the GH2 guitar, the new single cutaway that we're building, machined. And it looks nice. It's exactly the right size and all that good stuff. Here's the problem. It twisted as it sat around for a couple of days. It began to twist. And so now it's become unusable. So I have to make this neck over again. And that's a very sad thing because I thought that we were moving along. It's a depressing thought, but it is true. That's all part of guitar making. If I lay this neck down like this and hold it right here, it rocks. Which means that it's twisted, and you can even see it when you look at it. This back end right here is starting to twist over like this. And I don't know if it's because of this grain. I think it may be. You see that grain right there? I don't know if that's what caused it or not, or if it's just this piece of wood has just got some internal stress in it. That when all of this wood was taken off, it relieved it. One of the problems with making guitar necks is you take a lot of wood off of one side of the guitar neck. And that's why a lot of people use scarf joints and that type of thing, but if you can find the right piece of wood, you can do this and it works fine. I've done it a number of times, had no issues. This one, however, has got an issue and has to be made over again. What I'm going to do to try to save myself that hassle in the future, and I know that I need to do this, but I forget to do it. You see these pieces here that I have. I've cut these out a long time ago. They've been sitting around, and each one of them has a little certain something going on with it that may not be quite right. You see, like that hole right there, that's a wormhole. You see that? And that wormhole comes out right there. Now, there's a possibility that when I shape the back of this neck, that wormhole will disappear. There's also a possibility that when I shape the back of this neck, that wormhole will be right through the middle of the neck. And so, we don't know until we cut it. I'm probably going to put this on a machine and cut it, a rough cut. What I'm going to do first, though, is I'm going to cut that basic shape out of the back of this neck. And I'm going to let it sit around for a couple of days. And I'm going to do that from now on. And I know that I need to do that, and I have in the past, but I haven't recently because I got busy doing other things. It's hard to keep up with all the stuff I need to do, and this is one of the things I've let slip past. I need to rough out the necks, and I let them season, and then bring them back to the machine to flatten again on both sides. And yeah, so that's where we're at with that. And we have 1.870. We still got enough wood on these to do that with. So I'm going to do that today. I'm going to get these rough cut. And then I'm going to get another neck going for this body. We got the single cutaway body ready to go. Except for I need to finish shaping around here and around here. I'm going to do that part by hand, shaping that down so that I have a nice 1/4 inch line all the way around of maple to mahogany. This body is looking good. The neck has been machined. The neck pocket, all the machining as far as that goes is done. And yeah, so that's a good thing. And, hold on, my ear itches. You ever get an itch inside your ear? Man, that's weird, isn't it? Ah. All right, so, and this guitar, of course, is now ready for its very last final sanding on the neck. I think the body's good to go. I have the ferrules in. You see the ferrules there? All right. Ferrules are in. The neck has been fitted. Fits nicely. This guitar, oh, I need to do the fret job on this neck too. That's why I haven't finished sanding yet. I need to finish doing that. So maybe we'll do a little of that today also. So there's lots of things we need to do. It's Black Friday. Let's get to work, all right? Let me get set up and figure out what I'm gonna do first. I think I'm gonna rough cut these necks first, and then we'll go from there, all right? I'll be right back. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut these necks first and get those roughed out. I'll show you what I got going on there. Let me get you over here to the bandsaw. Hold on, let me get you over here. Forgive all the camera moves, but it's necessary to get you in the right place so you can see what's happening, right? So, I used this neck that's twisted, and I used it to mark the side of this neck here. And that's where I'm going to rough cut it. I'm just going to cut that chunk out right there, and I'm going to let this neck sit around. I'm not going to cut this part here. I'm just going to come straight up from that curve there, right out of there. That way I can leave this flat and this flat, and then that way I can machine the truss rod, flatten this and all of that. I have something that's still flat that sits on the machine. You understand what I mean by that? So I have two flat surfaces at the same level. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. It makes sense in my head. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that on all three of those blanks over there, and I'm going to do that from now on. I'm going to take some wood. I'm going to machine it out to where it's a, you know, a thickness like this, a little oversized, and I'm not going to make this mistake again. Yeah, it sounds good, but I probably will. All right, hold on. Let me get these cut. I'll be right back. Now I've taken a big chunk of the wood out of the back of this thing, and I can find out what this piece of wood is going to do, if it's going to warp this way or if it's going to twist. And we'll let it sit like this for a couple of days. As you can see, it's got some funky stuff on the back, but that gets cut off, so we don't worry about the funky stuff. I'm going to do that for all these necks, and we'll go from there. Right? Right. Let's do it. we got there. Ooh, that machine is loud. The vacuum cleaner is loud. Okay, so I think that this neck right here is the one I'm going to try to use next. I got lucky because you remember that one I showed you a few minutes ago that had the hole in it, the wormhole? Well, when I cut the back off, that wormhole disappeared. There it is again, but I think it's just a little surface thing. I'm going to set this one up. I'm going to let this one sit for a day first. I was getting ready to put it right on the machine and do it again, like a knucklehead. We'll let this one sit for a day, see what it does. See if it twists, if it turns, if it does anything weird. If it doesn't, I think we can get a neck out of this for the guitar that we have here that is ready to go. And the wood matches pretty good, which is really good also. All right. So I wanted to use that other piece because it came out of the same board as this one. So the grain match would be nice. And I do have another piece over there I could try to use. And I may do that just to see how it does. But I got to get it to this point first. I'll do that off camera because you've already seen this point. You don't need to see it again. So I think what I'll do next though is do the fret work on that neck. And let this machine run while I do that. All right? So let me get all that set up and we'll keep on rocking. I did get the fretboard cut out. Beautiful piece of ebony. This is Indian ebony. Nice dark color and very consistent grain. I get these from a company called LMI. They sell great pieces of fretboard material. Anyway, and we're going with diamonds. Got the one in the first. For some reason, I really like that, the first fret marker. It's not really necessary because obviously that's the first fret, but it looks good, I think. I did this on a different guitar. So I also need to get the nesting set up for cutting those parts out of mother of pearl. That's something I got to do today. But first of all, we're going to take this neck off of this guitar. We're going to get it nice and straight. I'm going to dress the frets out on it. And we'll get that done. I can do the final sanding on that neck. And then I can spray all of that guitar with sealer and get some color on it. That's my hope to finish up this week, is to get some color on and some finish on that guitar, because that guitar needs to be done and it needs to go away because it needs to go home now. It's spent enough time here with Dad and now it needs to leave the nest. You know what I mean? Go, fly, go, go, go. So we need to get that done because we need to concentrate on other builds. I got a great classical guitar build coming up. I can't wait to get started on this. Is going to be a lot of fun. Finally, we're getting to the acoustics. I have one for Philip Herder also, a nice parlor style. I'm really looking forward to because I'm going to build myself one at the same time I build Philip's, if that's okay with Philip, because it may take, a little more time. I don't know. We'll have to ask him, see if he's okay with that. So, but I always wanted a parlor style, and I got a couple of really super nice pieces of Brazilian rosewood that I've had for, I'm going to say close to 35, 36 years, believe it or not. I've been carrying them around with me. I used to know a guy named Myron Curtis, who worked at a company called Penrod Jurgensen Clark. I believe that's the correct name. And it was a veneer mill here in Norfolk, Virginia, long ago. And when a veneer mill mills a piece of wood for veneer, depending on what type of veneer it is, if it's rotary cut or cut off of a flitch. If it's cut off of a flitch, there are some claws that hold the board. Let's just pretend like this is a flitch of wood, meaning a chunk of a tree that they've cut and they've soaked in this heated water for the amount of time that it needs to soak. There's a whole process here, man, that I don't know all the details to. But there are tools that hold this thing in this machine, and a knife comes down and goes, and cuts off a thin piece of veneer, and it falls over, and it comes down again. It just keeps doing that until it gets to the point where it can't go any farther forward because it'll run into itself. The knife will run into its own machine. And so they have to take that piece off and leave it. And it's a perfectly good piece of wood, they just can't use it in the veneer mill anymore. Well, Myron used to gather those pieces up and sell them to different people. Well, he gathered a bunch of Brazilian rosewood that he got while he was there, and he sold most of it to Martin. And Martin built a ton of guitars out of it. I have some of that wood. I managed to get enough to build a really nice parlor style guitar. So that's coming up, and I'm looking really forward to that. But until I get to that point, we're not there yet. But you know, it's something to look forward to in the future. Let me get some stuff straightened up here, man, and we'll get this neck off this guitar, you know? All right. Let's do that. Okay, now we can take this guitar apart. Let's take this guitar apart. My Pete Federico coffee mug. Pete's a great local photographer. Some of you probably know him. I bought this coffee mug because that's the Bodie Island Lighthouse. I built the windows for the Bodie Island Lighthouse and installed them. I'll tell you that story. That has an interesting hornet story, wasp story, someday down the road. Don't let me forget to tell you that story. Well, let's do this. Okay, the first thing we want to do is straighten it. Got to make sure that it's good and straight. Put that up here and we'll look, see if we can see any light through there. It's looking pretty good. What I'm doing is I'm looking for light underneath the straight edge here. And we got a little, let's adjust it back a little here. See where that takes us. All right, that's the opposite of what we wanted to do. We want to go this way. Let's take all the tension off of it. Right there, it's in a neutral tension on the truss rod. Nothing, the truss rod's just sitting there at this moment. It is not influencing the neck in any way. And I'm just looking for light underneath the little notches here that sit on the fretboard. We want it to be light tight, meaning that it's straight across there, and that looks good. Right there. That looks good. I'm just going to tighten it just a little bit. That looks good. That neck looks straight. All Very nice. Now we'll tape it off. First thing I want to do is put a piece of tape this way. Across here. Oh, don't you hate it when that happens? Dust on the tape. And this makes it easier to get the tape off when we get ready to do that part. What am I doing? That's what I'm doing. Got to tape off this whole thing so we don't damage it. I should probably speed this up because this is boring. Okay, I got all that taped off. That's a little tedious all by itself. And that protects all this beautiful wood here. Now what we need to do is take a magic marker and color the frets so we can see what we're doing when we start to level them. This is the magic marker you want. You can try other ones. Take my word for it. The ink comes out of these very nicely, and it's very dark and works extremely well and lasts a long time. So Staples, you owe me a heads up on that one. All right, let's move on to the next little adventure here. Okay. Let me adjust that. You know this angle bothers me. All right. Now we got this all taped off. Now I'm going to take this nice straight edge here, the sanding beam made by that good old guitar company, StewMac. That's not a plug for StewMac again. StewMac doesn't do anything for me. I'm just telling you where I got it from. Okay. And I'm using 400 grit sandpaper on here. And we're just going to take and go back and forth on here lightly, gently. Lightly and gently. Whoops, sorry. Man, it's like being on a ship. Back and forth lightly and gently till we start to flatten out the surface of these frets. And you'll see what I mean in just a minute. Remember we put magic marker on there? lightly and gently. Some shiny spots, some black spots. You know what that is, right? Low spots and high spots. The shiny spots or the high spots, the ones that are still black, are the low spots. We want them to all be shiny. So we'll keep going lightly like this until we get them all shiny. And then I like to go this way a little bit. Yeah, that's good. All right. Looks nice. A little bit of a low spot right there. Who knows why? Hit it with a hammer or something. And some low spots here, but I'm going to put some drop off on that. The last few frets there. Back to the magic marker. These are all looking good now. Now they're all black across the top again. I use a crowning file for this. You see the shape on the end of the file there? There you go. You can see that good now. Well, the other side has the opposite of that. And it's two different angles. And that allows you to get two angles at one time. Back and forth like that. Turn it. Hit it again, and those two angles reverse. And the trick is to get a super thin line left, like the line you see, the little black line going across the top of that fret. That means that fret is cleaned away except for that little black line, and that's what we want to leave all the way across here. All right, so we're just going to do that all the way across, and we'll speed this up. I'm going to put in my earplugs, listen to my book, and here we go again. All right. We got nice, even, clean black lines, little thin black lines all the way across the top of the frets. Okay, so we got that right. Now we're going to use this file. And I'm just going to hit these right here like this. I'm going to round these over a little bit. Make it comfortable to play. Just like that. So we have a nice rounded over end on our fret. Hard to see. Hard to get in focus, but I'm trying to round over that end. All right. got all the corners rounded over. They're nice and comfortable. Now I'm just going to finish cleaning off these frets. And then we'll buff it. Should be good to go. Yeah, that's pretty. Okay, I just got done buffing these with my secret sauce. Look at them baby shine now, huh? Oh yeah, baby, that's pretty. All right, we'll move the camera and we'll finish up. All right, that's good, we got that done. That means now I can do the final finish sanding on this neck. I can tape this off again, covering up the frets. And this looks good. Real good. Very nice, clean fret job. So all I gotta do is take all this tape off. You don't need to watch me do that, right? But I'll show you what it looks like once we get it finished sanded and I spray some sealer on it. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. I hope you have a great Black Friday. Get out there and do something fun with your friends. And remember that Steely Dan song. Go listen to that. That's a great song. We'll see you guys out there somewhere. Don't forget to be good to each other, okay? You know what I mean? Kindness goes a long way, man. Take care of each other out there. Support your local businesses. We'll see you out there somewhere. Worth Guitars. Bye now.